Flyers and Coyotes tonight on our sister station, 104.1 FM and 1450 AM, as the Flyers get ready to take on Phoenix. And they lost to the Coyotes, PT, on opening night for Phoenix, or Arizona, I guess they are now. And the Coyotes haven't won since.
That was a terrible BS loss, too. The guy ripped the stick out of Voracek's hand, and Voracek thought that the penalty was going to be called for the stick getting ripped out of his hand, and instead it was a penalty on the Flyers for some reason. And then the goal was, the Flyers were hot after that one.
Well, it's the Flyers' first chance to win back-to-back games here for the first time this season, as they get a chance for revenge on the Coyotes, who are 1-5-1 at the Wells Fargo Center. Steve Coates will call the action tonight on the Flyers Radio Network, and he joins us now with a look at the Flyers as they get ready for Arizona tonight. Coatesy, welcome back, pal.
Gentlemen, how's everything this afternoon?
Everything's great, and Pete was just pontificating about that loss out there in Arizona with the stick and Voracek and everything. This is not a very good Arizona team. That's a tough loss there. What do you remember about that game?
Well, I know one thing, that don't ever go after Pete for his memory. That was very impressive.
Thank you, Stephen.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you, Stephen.
I'll tell you what, I'll even take it to the next level, Peter, if you can tell me who the referee was that blew that call.
Yeah, now see, if you do that, then I'll throw out something crazy like Terry Gregson, Bill McCreary, or Andy Van Hellemond, and turn back to 1985.
Yeah. I did see Kerry Frazier the other day. Was it him?
Who was it?
I said I saw Kerry Frazier the other day. It wasn't him that made the call, right?
It wasn't him. No, another guy that's retired. All the guys that Pete just mentioned are all in the referees for the home for the referees.
So please share who blew that call there, Coates.
Who was the ref, Coates?
Steve Kazari.
All right.
And not only did he blow the call, Jake went over to him and said, "What was that about? How come he didn't call it?" He gave him a 10 a game. So now when you look at the penalty minutes for the Philadelphia Flyers, Jake Voracek leads us in penalties with 24 penalty minutes.
Unbelievable.
Oh, boy. Well, I'll tell you.
So in other words, don't give me hell because I made a mistake. I'll cheat you.
Yeah, right.
Unbelievable.
Well, it seems that officiating and poor reffing has been a common theme in all sports. Yes. But, hey, one thing,
hey, Mike.
Yeah.
This referee's trying to get into the NFL.
Well, I'll tell you, that game that was, the back-to-back, the Flyers played the Kings the night before. So, obviously that game they lost, but they got a good opportunity tonight. And since that game, they have been playing a little bit better, but still haven't been able to string those back-to-backs. A lot of inconsistencies. But what I'll tell you, Coatesy, was I thought the back-to-back the other night was impressive. They lost the night before in Montreal where they looked a step slow, and you figured, wow, they're going to really come out against Buffalo and be a stinker. And it looked like it was going to be a stinker. What happened in that game?
Well, for some reason, this team needs something traumatic to happen. Whether it be falling behind by a large amount of goals or something happening in the game that makes them mad. But, I thought, quite frankly, they played a pretty good road game in Montreal, and so did the coach. And so we come back on this back-to-back, and everybody's always saying, well, back-to-backs are tough, and the Buffalo Sabres are sitting and waiting for you, and a lot of the guys were talking about after the second period, it was such a poor effort in the first two periods. They were saying, well, this team looks really tired, and they'd lack energy on a back-to-back. I went, I don't understand how you could lack energy 6 games into the season on their first back-to-back or second back-to-back. And I said, that's certainly not the reason this team is not playing well right now. I don't know why, but it is an energy, and it can't be blamed on energy.
And that hit you're referencing.
All of us. Wait, pardon?
Go ahead.
So what you do is then you start the period, and you take spot. And the spot was a power play opportunity right at the beginning of the period. They scored, and that was what triggered them to come back. They've done it against L.A. They've done it against Arizona when they finally getting beaten overtime. They've done it against Chicago. They were down 4 to Chicago, only to lose later on. So it's a team that, as much as maybe if you like to think that they're a little inconsistent, they are a team that you don't want to try to hold on to a lead by changing your style of play. They're going to come after you.
Coatsy, that hit you're referencing, or that play you're referencing where they felt aggrieved, was that Kulikov hit on Voracek. And Steve Coates, no suspension, no hearing, no review. If that's Radko Gudas, he gets 4 games. What's going on?
Oh, it's the old, they'll understand, they'll profile who you are as the way you play, your past experiences, your past suspensions. I thought Kulikov left his feet, but he didn't make contact with the head. So if he left his feet and didn't make contact with the head, then the call is right. It's a charging call. If there was no contact to the head, then there is no exposure to a suspension or a fine of any kind.
Well, one thing we did see in the third period the other night as we visit with Steve Coates, Flyers radio analyst, is that Konecny and Voracek moved up. When Voracek returned, they joined G on that top line in the third period. Dave Haxtell apparently liked that so much that that's going to be the line tonight. That's going to be the one, and maybe go through the lines and how they're going to look tonight against Arizona.
Well, putting Konecny with Giroux and Voracek certainly, or with Simmons rather, really front ends your lineup. With Voracek, Giroux, and Konecny really front end your skill level and your lineup. But then you come back, you got Matt Reed, Simmons, and Couturier. They've been together before, and so that should be a pretty good line. Nick Cousins goes back into the middle, with Weiss coming back in the lineup after a 3-game suspension, and Braden Shen will play on that side. And then Boyd Gordon comes out. Belmar goes back with his buddy Van Velde, along with Lubyanov on the right side. So that's your lineup. Van Velde and Belmar back together, only missing the guy that was on their wing last year, Ryan White, who now plays for the Arizona Coyotes.
Steve Coates with us, Flyers tonight. Coates, who's in goal tonight, you know? Mace?
I would think it'd be Mason. No, I don't know that for a fact, but my opinion is it's going to be Mason. Noivy's really fighting it right now.
Yeah, because
really fighting it.
Just say, what's going on with him? He's been pulled a couple of times. He just, he looked sharp at the end of last year. He has not shown that same ability so far, and it looks like, when he goes out there, you're almost waiting when they're going to pull him out.
He looks like he's off balance half the time. I mean, the goal that Hossa scored in Chicago for his 500th career goal, it looked like he was totally off balance. The other night, another goal that Molson scored, I think that was the goal that actually had him pulled. That was like he was back in the net. He was falling backwards. He was off the post. So I don't know what's wrong with him. Goalies, just like anything else, it's a rhythm. And he's lacking the rhythm right now. He won't be playing in the Temptations right now.
Because he's off the beat. Steve Coates with us, talking a little Flyers hockey. One of the Heritage Nights tonight, Coatesy, 14 members of the Hall of Fame are going to take part in some ceremonies, and then some great names: Billy Barber, Rod Brindamore, your buddy Bobby Clark, Hexy, Howe, LeClaire, Leach. I mean, just big names coming back. Are you excited about nights like this because you get to shake hands and see all the people, and it's good for the fans? So tell me about the Heritage Night tonight and maybe the ones that are still to come.
Well, first of all, I won't have the opportunity to shake any of their hands because we go to work when we get up there, and they're in a special gathering down in the Hall of Fame room. So I don't really get an opportunity during any of these events to go down and sail anybody. But I am excited because of being with the organization as long as I have, knowing every one of them personally, as my friends, and as people that I've been involved with for many, 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 many years. And to have the guys come back tonight to be honored in the 50th anniversary of the Philadelphia Flyers is a special night. It brings back a lot of great memories, and I look forward to watching them come to center ice tonight to be honored.
And which night do you like? The tough guy night? You like this Hall of Fame night? Which of these theme nights, when you saw that they had announced him, were you like, oh, I really like that one?
I think every one of them are good. Every one of them have a thought process. Every one of them had a different meaning to the fan. And so that's why it's kind of exciting to have all these different nights. It's interesting. I don't know how they're going to figure out. I heard the list initially. I haven't heard it lately about who the toughest 10 guys ever were. That'd be a kind of a pretty good debate to be in.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Dave Brown would be on that list. I know Chief would be on that list.
Oh, you see, you're starting it already, Peter. Now you're going to get me all geared up, and now we're going to start talking about who's tougher. And then we'll get into a big argument, and we'll be on the air for another hour.
Steve Coates with us. Hey, real quick before we let you run here, Coatesy, the Kings apparently have report out there that they called the Flyers about Steve Mason's availability. Do you think it's inevitable at some point that one of these guys, his name's going to come up, obviously, but do you think maybe this is the year that they decide to move one of them?
Well, that's a very interesting question. First of all, if you take a look at the circumstance with the Los Angeles Kings, where Jonathan Quick is out for 3 months. The backup, Zakhoff, he went down, so now they only have Budaj, who played as the backup for the Montreal Canadiens a few years back. It's a team that expects to do very well that does not have a goalie. And I would not be surprised if they go out and get a goalie. A goalie like Mason, though, is an interesting question because Steve Mason's a number one goalie. There's no two ways about it. He's a number one guy. He's played very well this year. Saying that, why would LA? It'd be nice for LA to get a Mason, bring Jonathan Quick back, but that certainly wouldn't be a good trade for Mason. It'd be good for Mason for 3 months, but then all of a sudden Jonathan Quick's going to play 75% of the games out there. Would the Flyers care about that? No. If they could get something in return, that would be a value to them. So it's an interesting thought. It's a pretty high-end goaltender with a pretty big paycheck to play as a backup goaltender to Jonathan Quick in L.A. But they do need a goalie. There's no two ways about it. Is Mason a little too high-end for them? Who knows what Dean Lombardi's thinking? But it's an interesting thought, and I congratulate you for starting that rumor.
Oh, I didn't start it. Somebody in Canada did.
I'm just joking.
We're all the rumors start in Canada, right? All right, Steve Coates.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
Steve Coates will have the call tonight. Flyers and Coyotes, 97.3 ESPN. Coatesy, enjoy the game tonight.
I'll try my best, guys. Thanks. Talk to you next Thursday.